That is the least feminine thing you can do. Not cooking. I mean, are you even a woman?
Good bro, bad bro. For whoever's deciding to click on this video, there's a good chance you've headed over from TikTok, and who knows, maybe you're not. Maybe you're here to comment on behalf of good bro, bad bro, to tell me I'm complaining and I'm being a radical feminist or whatever. But I'm gonna first clarify, I consider myself a feminist who wants to combat the box that women have been placed in and hopefully be a contributor to the path being carved out for women as we speak. I don't consider myself a radical feminist, just a woman who wants to give her opinion on the podcast that everyone has been talking about. This is a blind review, so I'm coming in completely unbiased. This is also future Kawaa commenting. I also want to note that there are some useful points they've made in this podcast, along with some controversial viewpoints, and we're going to be debunking and analyzing this as an average female internet troll. So if you're curious to see what I have to say, keep on watching.
Feet pics would be normally like a green flag, but the fact that she's really good at it, kind of a red flag.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. Like, maybe it's a sign that she does it often, but like, what's the definition of a good feet pic? Like, is it like a side profile, or we're talking like wham bam your face? Like,
Number one, if a woman is poor with money. If a woman is poor with money, her money, she's probably going to be poor with your money too.
I'm sorry, huh?
A girl that spends a lot of money on cosmetics, clothing, appearance.
Sir, do you not know how much your bra is these days, or even makeup? Like, did you know that due to pink tax that women spend more than $1,400 more than men a year just on their own products?
Basically things that don't necessarily complement or improve a lifestyle, because there's no ROI on a woman necessarily for spending all the money they do on shoes besides they like.
Okay, noted. Don't spend money on things just because I like them and I won't be broke. Perfect, thank you. I learned a lot. Who needs the rest of this podcast when you got this kind of A-tier list advice?
As women spend so much money on clothing and cosmetics is to make their appearance better, because when they have a better appearance, they come off as more presentable and attractive to the opposite sex. Be honest, I think a lot of women purposely will dress up nice, have like really nice cosmetics, clothing, shoes to attract the male in order to kind of bait the male into dating her so that he can give her money, and then she spends it on more clothing.
You know what? That's a bright idea. I should be doing this. Profiting on patriarchy, cute makeup, big tits, get a little bit of the money. Hell yeah. But bro, for real, most girls, and I say most girls because of course there are the select few that do probably do this, but most girls don't do their makeup and clothes and stuff for this specific reason. Like, I'm pretty sure like 80% of girls are financially capable of buying their own shit these days. We don't live in the 1950s anymore. Women have their own credit cards.
No geographic right now.
What was that laugh?
If a girl's crushing it, like she's a doctor or something like that, she wants to buy a nice bag, like I see no harm in it. You know, girls who like, you know, work at Starbucks, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great job. But then they're at the Gucci store.
Okay. I'm a gamer. I spend about equal money on gaming as much as I probably do clothes. But let me say that video games, alcohol, and whatever else a man might spend his money on. Like earlier he mentioned that there's no POI on makeup or clothing, but let me just say the exact same thing goes for like video games or, I don't know, pre-workout, if anything. Like if I told my man he wasn't allowed to spend money on stuff, he would for sure argue that it's his money and he can do whatever he wants with it. So why do you guys think you have the right to control how much he spends? He wants to buy Gucci? Fine. He wants to buy Elden Ring? Cool. I think the issue here is not exactly the red flag that they brought up. People are allowed to have standards when it comes to financial needs. I just think that some of the points that they made could have been addressed a little bit differently. Right now it's really coming off as that just because they don't see a use in makeup or clothes doesn't mean that a woman should. And let me say that people put on makeup or wear certain clothes for simply the joy of it. Like some people even consider a hobby to do their makeup all nicely, and I say let them be. Alright, let's see where the rest of this goes.
Yeah.
If girls have debt and then they're buying expensive bags and designer, that's a fucking
That's a double red flag. These red flags we're talking about are not exclusive to women. A lot of these apply to men as well.
Sir, you are starting to get on my good side. Let's hope you keep it there.
Makeup too. That shit's expensive, man. I don't know how much girls spend on makeup per month, but I would imagine it's at least like $100.
Guys, so I buy my makeup from a drugstore, so it's not that expensive for me. I would say like maybe $30 every couple months, but that's just because I'm a material girl.
They did the math, and women spend on average to get ready for a date in cosmetics, hair, nails, getting everything did, $120 per day. And that's why a lot of women say that men should pay for the first date, is because we don't understand how much work it takes for a woman to get ready.
Girls will pay to have the nails shaped perfectly. Like they grow them out and then they have them, you know, sod or whatever.
I don't have a comment. I just thought this part was really funny.
Ladies watching this, comment down below whether you get shellac or whatever.
Oh, he knows the name. Okay, let's go. You're starting to get my good side too.
Some girls, bro, I saw a video on TikTok. This is mind-blowing stuff. They have a fake nail.
Yeah.
And they shove it under like the cuticle of their nail, like a ½ inch deep under their fucking skin.
Oh, yeah. It's not really half of an inch. It's kind of like it's a little bit, but it's like not that much, to be honest.
That would hurt so much.
You ever see girls with those big pointy ones? That's what's going on there. They're shoving like plastic under their freaking skin.
Y'all, I hate to disappoint, but it's actually not that painful, and we don't actually like shove it under our skin. It's more so just kind of like sits on top of our nail, like a little bit under the cuticle, but it's not that much.
Yeah, bro.
That's a fucking red flag.
Bro, of course that's a red flag. Who would do that?
I can't watch it, you know?
Dude. Damn.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro. Y'all really need to get off TikTok. There's so much misinformation on that.
Number 2, red flags in women. If a girl is always on her phone.
Well, number 1, that tells me that she is not interested in whatever we're doing. I don't know. Maybe I'm self-conscious. Kind of invalidates me. It's like, oh, like, is my time not valuable to you? Like,
I 100% agree with this. If someone's constantly on their phone while you guys are hanging out, then that's a major red flag. And also, this man is coming from a vulnerable This man is coming from a vulnerable place, so that gives me more respect for him.
I will say this. It actually leads back to being men's fault, because normally a man won't tolerate that in a girl, and he'll let her know through his actions that, hey, if you're going to be on your phone, I'm not going to hang out with you. Men are so desperate to be with women that they'll allow girls to do that shit. So it becomes the norm for you to be with a girl and she's just on her phone the whole time, and it's just okay.
I will say this, as unfortunate as it is, men are very starved for female attention. So I can see why this might be the case, and if so, then I think this applies for women too. Both men and women need to start implementing their boundaries way better than they normally do now.
if I'm at a restaurant with a girl, she's sitting across from me on her phone,
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed, bro. I'm looking around.
Dude,
I feel like the biggest failure.
so embarrassing, man.
First date, for sure. I definitely 100% agree. If somebody's on their phone, big red flag. But I think it also depends on the relationship. This is just my take. In previous relationships I've been on, after like a couple months of dating, we kind of just, while we're waiting for our food, we'll either talk, and if there's nothing to talk about, then we'll just kind of like go on our phones and maybe show each other like TikToks once in a while. Because I find that usually when you're in a relationship long term, you start to run out of things to talk about every day. Like, if both of you guys are chill, then I don't really see the problem with it. It's usually just like, if it's on a first date, it's kind of like, you should take the time to get to know each other.
What they're generally doing, there's 2 types of things. One, they're mindlessly scrolling on TikTok.
She's calling me out. Okay.
Swiping on fucking TikTok, just watching useless brain dead activity. That just says a lot about her attention span.
And if you're a girl watching this and that's you right now, this is your sign to close the app.
Yes.
Get off TikTok.
Get off of TikTok.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Wasn't this you like 5 minutes ago?
Some girls, bro, I saw a video on TikTok.
Oh, I saw a video on TikTok.
Pretty brain dead kind of behavior. And dudes do this too. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously. But guys, we can't get away with that as much. If we play that game, they're going to win. Because not only can they scroll all day on TikTok, but if they go for the attention of the opposite sex, we're done.
Yeah, I was talking to my roommate about this like the other day. Women get way more matches. And honestly, my opinion is just because like if you've ever scrolled through a dating app, majority of like men's photos are very like blurry. They're not very professionally taken, let's just say that. Whereas women's are like good lighting, good makeup, good outfits. Like they put out their best. It's also just like women are allowed to be picky. Whereas men, they get one match and that's probably the only match they're going to get for a while.
They could start a Tinder account with any photos.
Oh, here it is.
And be sitting on like 1,700 likes in 24 hours.
Another thing too, yeah, she could be texting other guys.
I feel like this is a little bit of insecurity here, which is fine because, like, I've been insecure too. I mean, if she's doing this on the first date, then yeah, like I said, red flag. But if she's, like, been in a relationship with you for a while, then, I mean, chances are she's probably just, like, on TikTok. But apparently that's not good enough for you guys either, so I don't know.
If you're dating a girl and she's texting other guys all the time, you're a fucking idiot. You got to get out of there.
Yes, based. 100% agree. Unless there's guys she's known since like her childhood or at least high school if you guys are like graduated. But I mean, if she's talking to like guys that she barely even knows, then yeah.
She has 2 types of guys. 1, guys that potentially are going to fuck her. And 2, free attention guys.
So I'm going to do some exposing on the girls for a second. Now, what he said is true for some girls. You know, there are some girls, and, you know, sometimes I've done this too, who will text guys just because we want some attention, which is fine. Every person, man, woman, or in between, likes attention. And I don't know how it is for most guys, but I do have some guy friends who also talk to girls to pass time. Either it's because they're not ready for a committed relationship, or just because, you know, why not? They want attention. Girls will talk to certain guys. Whatever, you know, the guys, whatever he called them, you know, the potential hookup guys or the free attention guys, girls will talk to them when they're either mad at their ex or trying to get their mind off someone else. And I think this is mostly because they can't get the attention from the person they want, so they get the attention where they can get it. Shitty? Yeah, probably. But I know guys who do the exact same thing.
I've been in this position too, where I've been like,
you know, on the other end of this, where I was with a girl and I'm like not having a good time, so I'll pull out my phone and pretend like my buddy, you know, needs me to come pick him up or something. Right. What I'll do is like I'll just text the girl and just start talking about anything, and she'll reply right away. So if you looked over the shoulder, you would see messages constantly being exchanged. Right. Like, yeah, like my buddy needs me to pick him up. It's like, it's serious.
But in reality, I'm just texting a girl about like, you know, like, what did you think about this movie or whatever?
The orbiters, she knows that these guys want to smash, or does she?
Oh yeah,
he's just a friend.
Yeah,
but I know if that guy, if it came down to it, and she said, "Hey, what are you doing later? Do you want to come over?" He'd be like, "Send me the address right now."
Dude, when you say that to a girl, her face like just goes like she knows it's true, and it's like, gotcha.
I'm just gonna share my experience right now. Like, for the longest time, ever since I was like a kid, I had been more leaning towards being friends with dudes, mostly because I was into Pokemon and stuff like that, and a lot of the guys would just like play Pokemon in elementary school. So like I basically grew up with like guy friends, and into high school, I guess that's like kind of where things change, and guys kind of like start to be your friends just because they, you know, want to get with you. But I didn't know that for the longest time. So like now that, especially now that it's coming out, finding out that most of the guy friends I had stopped being friends with me because I got a boyfriend or whatever, it stings. It stings every girl. And I know it probably sucks just as much as it does to be friend zoned. Believe it or not, I, a female, have been friend zoned. So I know what it's like some of the time. And as unfortunate as it is, I'm pretty sure girls, you know, quote unquote, make that face or whatever, just, you know, because they know it's true and they don't want to think about it because it hurts. It's like a friendship that you thought was there was really only there because they, you know, wanted to get with you or whatever.
Also, to the lesbian girls watching, all this applies to you too.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about girls. It is a major red flag when a girl frequently posts photos on Instagram with the sole purpose being for male attention. Another word for this is thirst traps. Swimsuit photos.
Oh.
I genuinely used to believe this as well, when I was in high school at least. Now, so it's kind of like, you know what, if a girl wants to post a picture, she can just post it. Like, do whatever you want. But I think I should just take the time to talk about the double standard when it comes to thirst traps. For some reason, you know, girls really love the male thirst traps. You know, they get glorified. They're like, oh, you're so hot, blah, blah, blah. But for girls, it's like, men just get so peeved when a girl wants to just show off her body and be confident and just be like, hey, I have a good body. Look at me.
Body photos. Selfies.
Stop.
You know that angle too, where they're on the angle?
Oh,
and then there's all those girls like, oh my gosh, she does it for herself. No.
She does it for other girls.
If you're posting a photo for yourself, then the photo's never posted.
Put it on private.
I'm just going to talk about how the last relationship I was in, it was quite a healthy one. At least the dude I was with was very, like, emotionally in tuned. And let's just say that whenever I posted anything that was kind of like a risque photo, I don't post many of them, but like, let's say it was a risque photo, I would get nothing but hyped up, and he, you know, he was super proud that like, oh, he had this girl in his life. And I think most men should come from that approach. Like, sure, like she's posting her body, but like, what are other guys gonna do? Like, you're the one who's dating her. And for me, when he said all this stuff, it was a very big shock because the relationship I had beforehand, the guy was very like, cover up, don't let anybody else see your body. I want to be the only man who ever gets to see your body. And you know, but here comes like the new man's, and he's all like, you know, let's go to the club. I want to show you off to people. And to me, that's a very big turn on.
Anytime a girl says, oh, I posted a photo for myself. No, you didn't, because then you would post the photo on somewhere nobody would see it, aka you wouldn't post the photo.
I'm gonna say, like, in terms of being single, the only times I've really like posted a cute ass photo is when I'm actually trying to impress somebody that follows me. So there's a good chance that she's not really posting it for a bunch of people to see, but more specifically probably for one person to see. And if you're that person, then congrats, but if not, then I don't know, sorry for your loss.
I want to play devil's advocate and say,
yeah,
maybe it's her job to post scantily clad photos on the internet. Maybe she's an influencer, a content creator, something like that. And in that case, that's her job. Like, dating a guy isn't going to, you know, end her career. But what I would say to my own point is, I would never want to date a girl who's doing that.
Absolutely.
Just not my type. I don't know about you. Not my type.
You know what? And good for you. You know what you want and you know what you don't want. Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. Right.
Okay, but can I just say, like, I for some reason just enjoyed the way he nods at things. Like, I've never seen anybody nod like that, and for some reason it's just like appealing.
If a girl's posting gym photos and she's actively working on her body and fitness, that's something she worked to earn. Okay. Being born with a perfect hourglass figure, blue eyes, blonde hair, nice skin, and just a symmetrical face, you didn't work hard for that. You were gifted that when you were born.
As much as I wish I was naturally gifted, like blonde hair and blue eyes and like the perfect body, all I can say is you work with the cards you've been dealt. If you are a hot person and you have the option to just make money by posing and looking hot, then you know what? Why not? Less work. I mean, it probably is a lot of work, but still, you know what I mean? I'm sure there's a lot of people who would kill for that. And if you have that, then I mean, take advantage of it.
Physically shaping her body through exercising, that takes a tremendous amount of effort.
Oh, God, please help me. I've seen this part in Instagram clips. Oh, God.
I would argue it doesn't take as much effort as it does for a man to do the same thing, because a man has to resist Earth with gravity when he lifts weights.
He has to resist the earth because of gravity. It's not like women have to do that. You know, women they could just lift, you know?
He has this whole diet he has to follow where he has to eat more. It's very complicated for a thinner guy to gain mass. But a girl, if she really wants to be like a fitness girl on Instagram, all she has to do is keep her body down. So eat less and then maintain that shape.
Buddy, you clearly know nothing about female anatomy. Like, I have been working out for about like 2 years now, and let me say, getting my weight down is so freaking hard. Just as hard as it is for a man to gain weight.
Men, they have to put on mass.
Oh my God, I regret watching this. Honestly, I'm starting to believe that this guy genuinely thinks that like all girls are built with a tiny frame, and it's just like so easy for them to all look like very thin. But honestly, every girl has a different shape, a different frame. Sir, I don't know what you're going on about.
You know what's true too? This is an interesting fact. Women in the fitness influencer community, all they do is leg day. Men miss leg day. It's like the ultimate yin and yang.
Yeah, it's so true.
What's up with that, eh?
Well, I'll tell you what it is. Think about what the opposite sex are attracted to. The booty, because it's childbearing hips. What are women attracted to in men? The V-taper, which means the wider shoulders and the thinner hips.
Yeah, like my physique.
Exactly.
Subtle flex.
Yeah.
So all these guys that are saying, well, I'm just working out for myself, and all these girls saying, well, I'm just doing it for myself. Okay, but you're actually focusing primarily on what the opposite sex is attracted to.
Okay, you know what? Something I have been working on is working out more for myself. Like, don't get me wrong. I do want to look good, definitely for other people, but also partially for myself. Like, I watched Arcane, and let me say, seeing strong, kick-ass women make me want to work out. So,
you guys think that as men, we start businesses, work on our bodies, learn social skills, have huge friend networks, and spend our whole lives performing to the highest ability we can? Do you think we do it just for ourselves? No. We do it because it gives us an incentive to improve ourselves, particularly with women.
So it took me a bit to process this because I've never heard of this before. But I mean, if it's true, I don't know, like for all men or for some men or for just these guys specifically, then geez Louise. I feel like if the only reason you have friends is to impress women, then that's like just really, really sad.
And we get to do cool things in life. The ultimate thing you can do is turn your passion into a business. Because not only are you happy and satisfied with that, then you also run your own business. Then you make money. And all of that actually gets girls to come to you as well. So you should never be motivated purely by the opposite sex's attraction.
Phew, okay, I'm glad he said that.
Number 4, red flag in women. Loves consuming useless TV and social media drama. Obviously, good bro, bad bro is definitely none of that. People essentially become self-aware that it's bad for you. Reality TV, TikTok, all this bullshit on social media. So self-consciously, we put in a lot of effort not to consume that. So we try our best to consume it as responsibly as possible. But I guarantee if you guys looked at the section on your phone that says how often you're on Instagram and TikTok, you would be frightened.
So I'm in school to try to become a teacher, and something that comes up a lot is the use of social media in terms of the younger generations and how to incorporate the internet when teaching lessons because that's what's relevant. And a lot of the time, I have always concluded that I feel bad for people who grow up on TikTok because there are so many toxic trends. There's so much misinformation being spread. You really do have to try to consume the content responsibly and not take everything word for word because people who claim that they are professionals in their field might not even even have a degree. And it's really just distinguishing people who are actually spreading facts and people who are just doing it for the money.
And there's tiers to it.
Break down the tiers.
There's like, you know, too hot to handle, which I think is like an elementary tier. Something that, you know, I think it's innocent enough. It's entertaining. Yes, it's scandalous, but overall, it's okay. It's not that toxic.
Yeah.
Then you get into, you know, keeping up with the Kardashians.
A lot of people, but since we're talking about girls and red flags in girls, a lot of girls in particular constantly consume useless social media and TV drama. Now, the exception to this rule would be if the girl's job is to talk about this shit.
Yeah, like if she's Keemstar or something.
So this is a personal preference. I personally don't understand what's so interesting about the Kardashians, but I'm going to play devil's advocate and say that if there was a reality show surrounding offline TV, consider me tuned in every week.
And bro, there's a lot of girls that look at us and like, oh, you guys make podcasts about, you know, talking to chicks. That's not very respectable.
Yeah, that's a big red flag in girls.
And like, hey, fair enough.
Yeah, fair play.
That's okay.
That's fair. That's fair. Hey bros, for those of you watching that are beginner, intermediate, or advanced, and you need one-on-one coaching and dating advice, you can actually book me in the link in the description below.
Oh God, you're telling me this guy does dating coaching? Like other men are asking him for advice? This honestly kind of concerns me. Ugh.
All that stuff as well. So if you want to book a one-on-one coaching call, hit the link in the description.
I'm wondering if, like, even though I'm a woman, he would like take a call from me. Like, what? I'm really curious. What kind of advice does he give out? Should I try it?
Red flag number 5
Well,
in a girl: if she doesn't like cooking.
Guys, I'm reacting to this blind, and I swear if he says the points I think he's gonna say, I'm honestly like, I don't know, I'm gonna alt F4 or something.
What kind of a woman in 2022 doesn't enjoy baking and cooking? And I don't even mean for men. I just mean in general.
I don't know, maybe a woman that's bad at cooking or doesn't have time for it because she's working a 9-to-5 freaking job. Now, don't get me wrong, cooking is probably an essential skill for someone regardless of your gender. I'm honestly strongly passionate about both partners in a relationship knowing how to cook because, well, honestly, one time my mom flew to the Philippines because she's from there and my dad had zero idea how to feed us. He microwaved hot dogs for freaking sake, and I know many people with dads who are like this, and I give them the benefit of the doubt because it used to be more custom that women cook and men work, but now that there's women in the work field, there is zero excuses why a man shouldn't also know how to cook, which is why I'm so confused by what he means in 2022 women should enjoy cooking. Like, you better have some very good persuasion, sir, because I feel like I'm about to get heated.
That is the least feminine thing you can do. Not cooking. I mean, are you even a woman?
Oh my God, I am literally this close to throwing some hands right now.
Has any woman in the last thousands of years not enjoyed baking and cooking?
I'm sure there's like a couple out there. I've never met one.
You know what? At least he's trying. At least he's trying to see it from a different perspective, whereas the other man's over here is just like completely like attacking what it means to be a woman.
Man, I fucking love women who bake and cook. There's nothing better. I've never dated a girl that doesn't bake or cook. And women that bake or cook understand this. They're not being forced to do it. They enjoy it. If you're a girl and you don't like baking and cooking and you have like a negative association with it, you gotta fix that.
Who hurt you?
Yeah, who hurt you?
Can I just say how funny it is? Like, I forgot to bring this up earlier, how they said women who don't like to cook are not considered feminine. But if you think about it, all of these things are literally social constructs. We only say cooking is feminine because that's just, you know, what we say. We say playing sports is probably considered more masculine just because people say that. It doesn't mean that those things are necessarily true. It's just what society has been saying. I'm honestly so scared for men who are actually taking advice from this man seriously because it feels like a lot of his views on what it means to be a woman is very heavily influenced by misogyny, and that is not okay.
Yeah, I never cook. I hate it. I don't cook at all. Like, I don't. And he was like, that's it. Done.
Oh.
Done.
But have y'all ever heard of the saying that all the greatest chefs in the world are men? I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I mean, they do say that. You know what? It's fine if you don't want to date someone who doesn't know how to cook, but that opinion can't be formed from a misogynistic standpoint. Like, it's fine to say you want a girl who can cook because it's cheaper to buy groceries than to get takeout all of the time, or because you need someone to feed the kids when you're unable to do so. But to say that you wouldn't date a girl who can't cook just because it makes her less feminine is the most ridiculous argument I have ever heard.
Once I did have a Tinder date. I show up to her house. Her fridge, empty, except for 3 bottles of beer. Miscellaneous, all different brands. as if they're like left over from like dudes leaving them there or
Yeah, that's a
something.
red flag.
Huge red flag, right?
Wow.
She Uber Eats Subway for dinner.
Dude, Subway, like, you pick it up.
Yeah. She got it delivered, bro. And like there wasn't even like an egg in that fridge, bro. Not even a Kraft single slice in it. Like,
All right, I'm going to say from either perspective, if this was a guy or a girl doing this, yes, that is a huge red flag. If they don't even have like any type of like cooking, like not even making themselves like grilled cheese or something like that, that is a huge red flag. But for me, I say it is because, bro, Uber Eats is expensive. Your bank account would be like 0.
Men look for feminine characteristics in women, and feminine characteristics inherently make a great mother, which is something men are looking for, a wife that can bear kids. And if she can take care of me, she can take care of kids too.
But can you take care of yourself? That's the real question.
And one of the main qualities is a woman to be nurturing, and nurturing involves cooking and baking. And this goes so many different ways. It goes for the kids, it goes for you, your guests, bro. Like my girlfriend recently, you had a party. What did we do?
bro, she brought the most delicious cookies. They're phenomenal. Were those like peanut butter chocolate chips?
Fuck yeah, they were.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell her to. She's just like, she showed up at my house
Yeah.
with them made. I was like, what are these for? Are these for me?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, these aren't for you.
Whoa.
These are for the guests that we're bringing them to.
I do have one grievance here,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna call her out on the air.
Yeah.
She took the cookies home with her. At the end
I
of the night.
took them.
I was pissed.
That
bro.
was me. You know what I did? I talked over her. I mansplained.
Oh, dude.
And when she was like, hey, are you going to leave those? I was like, hey, can you grab my coat? You know? And then you know what's funny too?
You know what's funny is that men like this purposely disrespecting their partners so they can get what they want. And for some reason, them thinking it's okay to do so because, oh, he was just mansplaining. This goes along with the whole boys will be boys phrase. There's an issue with this phrase because it allows for men and boys to behave poorly because it's quote unquote inevitable. It's just something they do. When in reality, we should be teaching them to do better. And it's right here that he confirms that he probably had the ability to do better in this situation, considering he was laughing and saying that his bad behavior was funny.
Yo, legit, any girl that has beef with us saying like girls and women are way more attractive when they bake and cook and enjoy it, like, you're just an idiot. If you're a girl and you don't bake or cook, you would be shooting yourself in the foot. That's like being a guy and trying to date girls, but you have no money.
Isn't it crazy that when a woman lists her red flags, there are mostly things like, he's not physically violent, he communicates, he doesn't cheat on me. But for men, it's like their version of red flags or anything that makes a woman deviate from what a stereotypical 1950s housewife is. I can guarantee that at least a majority of women seeking a romantic relationship with a man would pick a feminist man with no money, as opposed to a misogynistic rich guy.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the point of that? The woman's going to provide for you?
It's like being a guy and like not being able to build an IKEA desk.
Yeah, dude. Biggest turnoff, man.
For sure.
I have a question for them. How fragile is your masculinity that you feel an obligation to have to know how to build something in order to get a girl? How emasculated would you feel if you were dating a woman and later found out she was a CEO? That she makes a living? That she can build her own IKEA furniture?
If a girl on TikTok says it's, you know, patriarchy that a man and tell them to shut the fuck up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the argument of someone who doesn't even know what the patriarchy even is.
Women need to cook and clean. And it's just, I don't know why I instinctively said that. Women need to bake and cook. Red flag number 6. Okay, guys. Red flag if a girl is fat. Let's be honest. Women don't like fat guys, just like men don't like fat women. Okay? If you're out of shape, you are narrowing the fuck out of your dating selection. You know, everybody's a little fat, but some are much fatter than others.
I will say one thing. I have a buddy, and like not even sarcastically, he will say like, the bigger the better.
Yeah?
I can't relate,
No.
but I just had to make that be said because I know there are some kings watching this who like them thick and juicy.
Yeah. Like, if somebody's offended by me calling them fat, that'd be like me getting offended by being called skinny.
As I mentioned earlier during this review, there is no issue with them saying what their preferences are. I just think they need to reword it so it doesn't come off as strong and as offensive. It just sucks because there's this really big double standard that you can argue that both bigger men and bigger women are unattractive. But the thing is that even bigger men also don't like bigger women. Whereas bigger women are open to being with a bigger man because they look for comfort since they both kind of share a similar experience. And you also look at things like magazines where there are, let's say, models who are considered very heavily, scarily underweight. And then you also got the opposite, which some women are scarily overweight. The thing is, men don't bat an eye when it's a super thin woman, but when it's a much bigger woman, they do bat an eye, and they always find a reason to tear them down.
Right? And it's actually easier to lose weight than it is to gain weight. Because when you gain weight, you have to watch what you eat, you have to structure it, and then you have to lift weights. If you are trying to lose weight, all you have to do is not eat. So just reduce what you're eating. So you're actually doing less work because you're not putting all the energy into eating. And then the exercise you do can be pretty straightforward, like walking, running, bicycle, like cardio stuff.
Dude, this guy honestly has no idea how women's bodies work. By nature, women tend to have a lower metabolic rate than men. There are also different hormones in women that prohibit them to lose weight as easily as a man can. It's actually easier for a man to lose weight than it is for a woman because they have more lean muscle tissue. And as you know, for men, it's harder for them to gain weight. So both are kind of at odds because beauty standards for both sides say they have to look a certain way, which is the complete opposite of what we're designed to be. Or more so, I should say that the beauty standard is hard to achieve for both people because of the certain things that make it harder for them to. There are also other factors to consider when thinking about this topic, such as genetics or someone's body frame. I'm pretty sure we were talking about this in my class the other day because we're learning about gender differences and sex differences, and it said that on average women have between 6 and 11% more body fat than men, and it's assumed to be an evolutionary adaptation to help during pregnancy. So before you go and assume what's easy or what's hard for both sexes, you gotta consider the differences first.
I guess there's those fat chicks out there that get guys. You know, shout out to you. Shout out to the chubby queens. Shout out to you fat girls watching that you get a lot of dudes and you get dudes that like fat chicks, right? Like that's fine. That's totally cool. But if you're trying to maximize your potential in dating, it's the exact same with a guy losing weight. If you're a girl and you want better quality men, guys that'll treat you with more attention, hotter, better looking guys that earn more money, more resources, just overall higher level guys, you got to lose weight, queen. You got to lose weight. You got to get that nice hourglass figure.
Bro, there are 3 ways to get an hourglass figure, and 1 being you are naturally born with it, which if you are, congratulations, you are very lucky. 2, if you get plastic surgery, and 3, if you actually work out and lift weights, which this guy is saying you don't have to do to get that hourglass figure. Like, if it really took no effort and not having to lift weights, then I would not have a cereal box body, trust me.
It's funny you say it's easier to lose weight than to gain weight. I'm someone who's been both like underweight and overweight. Mm-hmm. And I'm pondering that thought because when I was hella skinny, it was impossible for me to even gain a pound. I would eat like I was taking weight gainer and wasn't gaining weight.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, like Ontario locked down and I just ate a bunch of food and didn't work out for a year. And I got like really overweight and like losing it, also very difficult.
Really?
Yeah, but it's a different type of difficult.
Yeah.
It's like it's really like a mental discipline thing to lose weight because you're resisting temptation. To lose weight.
Like I said, this guy is still on my good side, at least a little bit better than the other guy is, just because he is advocating for the other side of things. Good job, dude. I'm not entirely sure what your name is, but good job.
Well, that actually
like
goes...
It's like it takes immense self-control to lose weight.
So that actually redefines this whole red flag too, because what does that tie back to? Self-control, impulse control, right? Because if you're a fat girl, generally, you're unhealthy. You're increasing your likelihood of a heart attack, diabetes, high cholesterol, all these things that would cause major health problems down the line, okay? You're also talking about permanent stretch marks and damage. Like I know a guy that he was really obese when he was a kid. Now he's jacked, thin, but he has all these big extra fucking layers of fat around his torso.
Oh, that's sick. It's like armor.
No. It looks not so good.
Oh, shit. If he, like, jumps off, like, a cliff, can he, like, squirrel suit with his body?
He's a little bit of a squirrel suit.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a superpower.
When somebody gets fat, they're basically showing a lack of control, which means a lack of discipline, a bunch of poor choices.
See, this is the point they needed to make. They needed to just skip through all the other stuff. This is the exact direct point of the red flag, and I think this point and this point alone would have been fine.
And it leads back to just being somebody that you can't rely on certain stuff.
Yeah, this one's gonna go pretty viral on TikTok, eh?
We'll see. Yeah. But it's true, and it applies exactly the same to guys. The only difference is it's harder to gain weight and muscle than it is lose weight So I guess you would say, you could argue it's easier for a girl to do that if the sole purpose is to attract the opposite sex.
I'd say like it's more within your control to lose weight than to gain.
Yes.
I'm just going to say that what he's saying is probably most likely almost indefinitely not true, because me and my past partner, he was a guy, I was trying to lose weight and he was trying to gain weight, and he struggles to eat stuff. Like, for him, he didn't have much of an appetite, so eating a bunch of food over the amount of food he normally eats was very difficult. But for me, I struggle to not eat stuff. Like, eating is really easy for me. If you want specifics, I was eating about like 1,500 calories a day, which is what they recommend, but I had to drop down to 900, and I don't know if this is healthy, by the way. I had to drop to 900 to even see any significant change. And dude, that is not a lot of food. So everyone has their own individual struggles. It's not easier for one or the other.
Because like, bro, to gain weight, if you're like genetically not predisposition, I can't even.
And doing it healthy, man.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Like I said, the exact same struggle goes for people trying to lose weight.
Number 7, red flags in women, no hobbies. This is probably one you could argue is like a yellow flag. And the only reason you could argue it's a yellow flag is because it's so fucking common. How many girls do you know actually have hobbies?
Bro, when I first heard this flag, I was like, oh, okay, this is a good point. He's going to make a good point. But then I remembered that I saw this on TikTok. So, oh God, let's go.
Like some girls, like they knit or they read or something like that. But,
bro.
Like, they don't spend a lot of time doing it.
Dude, shout out to girls that knit. Shout out to my queens that know how to knit, make a blanket, a scarf, gloves. Like
Talk about a green flag, eh?
Dude, that's a green flag. My mom did it. My nana did it. My aunts. Like, women back in the day just learned how to do things that are important, such as knit, cook, bake, and run a household. These are all feminine, nurturing qualities that men love.
Yeah.
And it's a lost art. I think it's a shame that a lot of women can't knit.
You know, I think of some contributing factors as to why knitting isn't so popular anymore. Maybe it's because, like, there's, I don't know, stores, clothing companies. You know, I was also thinking about the hobbies in my life, and I realized that my hobbies mostly consist of things that are catered towards men. For instance, video games, editing, or working out even. And I came to the conclusion of why it might seem like a lot of women don't have hobbies. And it's because men make it extremely difficult for women to take on these hobbies. Think about the gaming community. There's basically toxic masculinity everywhere, and with sports or working out, a ton of harassment and sexual misconduct in a ton of places. And obviously, women who don't partake in these hobbies hear about other women's experiences and tend to shy away from these hobbies because they'd simply rather not deal with the misogynists who are part of those communities. I also think about the messages that are catered towards women, like they're not going to be good at it, and I think about my friends and how I've tried to convince them into gaming, but then their first instinct is, well, I'm not going to be good at it. I'm sure there are a ton of women who are out there who do want to try certain things, but I feel like they just get scared because they're worried about backlash that they would get.
If you can't knit, you're a girl, not a woman. Anyways.
That's a fact, bro.
No hobbies. So this applies to men too, obviously, because when men have no hobbies, that basically means they jerk off and play video games.
I find too, like when girls have no hobbies, they demand more of your attention.
Whoa.
Sure, they may go to work, they go home, and it's like they're on their phone, and then they're like texting you, like, okay, like what are you doing? Like,
dude,
want
that's
more of
so
your time.
fucking true.
And like I'm grinding on my purpose, like I don't have time for you. Like sometimes I'll tell a girl, like respectfully, like why don't you get a hobby? Like,
bro,
have you tried taking up a sport or something like that?
Because a red flag is when a girl is just on your ass all the time.
Yeah.
Too clingy, right? But you just set up the red flag that led to that red flag. Mm-hmm. Pre-red flag.
Yeah.
Whoa. Girls call this when a guy's clingy. You know when a guy sends too many texts, is always available? That's because he has nothing going on. If you have nothing going on, that means you don't have a purpose or hobbies. So inherently, you not having a purpose or hobbies not only makes you one-dimensional, predictable, boring, but also all that time that you should be spending on that, you're spending on hitting her up.
Goes both ways.
There's nothing worse than when a girl, all she does is spend her day on her phone. Like, what are your hobbies? Oh, I listen to music. I like to travel. You like to travel, eh? Who the fuck doesn't like to travel?
Yeah.
Come on. Always posting like selfies, this outfit, that outfit. They're getting feedback from other girls.
I'm just going to say that fashion is in fact a hobby, so just wanted to put that out there.
When somebody posts regularly, that means they're on the app every day. They're spending hours. They get really good at posting. They know what they're doing. And if it's not their job, then it's their hobby. What are they posting, though? Are they posting them doing stuff? Or are they posting like they have a fucking community garden and they're posting photos of the vegetables? Are they posting fitness tips? Mm-hmm. Are they posting mental health advice? Or are they just posting themselves in their outfits? Moving on. Number 8, red flags in women. If she wears a lot of makeup.
You know where my mind immediately goes?
What?
It's not just the makeup on the face, but more importantly, The giant array of makeup supplies on the vanity, on the sink. Makeup supplies all over the sink. Hair. Mascara smudges. Looks like a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser has never touched that surface.
No.
She probably has a cat or two, too.
Oh.
Litter box probably not changed.
You ever see those memes of like a dude's like room and there's like 4 guys and there's a table and they're all playing Xbox? There's like ashed out cigarettes. There's like bongs, junk food, cups with like half of a drink from weeks ago in there.
Yeah.
The female equivalent of that is a girl's clogged ass bathroom sink. It's just a war zone. There's fucking makeup, mascara, powder. When girls put that powder stuff on their face, it goes everywhere.
Bro, tell me about it. Like, every time it goes all over my mirror, I just get so annoyed because then I have to wipe it after like a week just because it just piles and piles and then I can't see my face. My mirror is like a little tiny mirror, by the way. Not that that means anything, but yeah, don't worry. I'm not like powdering my face like in the cartoons.
The tissues with like makeup on it that like the garbage can's like overflowing. There's some on the ground, like Q-tips on the ground and shit.
Shout out to the environment getting fucking nuked. If you're sharing a bathroom with a woman, fuck, dude. That sucks.
Now, I might be being petty, but I did share a bathroom with a man, and let me tell you, majority of the mess was not mine. So I guess you could say living with both is just equally painful.
Now, you have to look at the makeup itself, too. Like, the amount of time she spends on all that makeup. If she's just doing like 2 or 3 quick things, takes 5 minutes, that's very efficient, very simple. But let's be honest, a lot of girls, especially like girls that are actively trying to attract men, they will spend anywhere from like 20 minutes to an hour.
So recently I saw a post about this girl, and she does a full face of makeup every day, and she does this not to attract a man, but to attract other women, and how hyperfemininity can be a sign of queerness. And let me say how I hopped on that train. I now put a little bit more effort into my makeup, and it's not to impress men, but more so to attract other women. And that's kind of when I realized a lot of my bi and lesbian queens are either hypermasculine or hyperfeminine. I had not looked at makeup the same since, let me say that. And a lot of women know that a lot of makeup isn't attractive to a man, and we still continue to do it. So why is this? Well, for a lot of us, it's very therapeutic to do something that makes us feel good. Sometimes for women, it's part of our morning routine, and it makes us feel accomplished and grounded before starting the day.
Think about that. 1 hour a day on makeup.
What do you recommend to those queens?
Simplify it. Why would you wear makeup when you could get your body looking nice and tight, right? Let me ask you this, guys. Why don't men wear makeup? Why do we make money? Why do we go to the gym and work out? Why do we spend so much time on self-improvement as opposed to just throwing on makeup?
First of all, makeup was worn back in the day by men and women, and it was only until the mid-1800s that makeup became tied to one gender. Even so, every male actor, singer, performer, they wear makeup too. And perhaps the reason men don't typically wear makeup is because of the social stigma around it. Unfortunately, homophobia still exists, and when a man wears makeup, society tells them that they're queer. And trust me, they don't say this in a non-derogatory way. I feel like most men don't wear makeup because it either doesn't interest them, or when it does, they get shamed for it.
If women took the same strategy that men use for self-improvement and becoming more attractive, I think there would be a paradigm shift in what men and women find attractive in each other. Because a lot of women, in order to increase that attractiveness 1 or 2 points, as opposed to going to the gym, working out, getting in sick shape, makeup.
I feel like we're talking about 2 completely different things. Putting makeup on your face, that's something else compared to working on your body at the gym. You're not going to work out at the gym to improve how your face looks. And this comes back to the whole issue of social media and how people are portrayed as having clear skin, perfect bodies. Putting on makeup for a lot of girls is just to fit into those categories. A lot of the time, though, men don't even notice when a girl's wearing makeup or not wearing makeup, so I don't understand why it matters that much, but alright. I mean, I do agree, though, that working out probably does have more benefits of self-improvement than just putting on makeup does, but that's for a girl to decide for herself, or whoever is wearing the makeup.
And then a girl that's too lazy to do all that, lacks the discipline or drive, doesn't have the same great body, just puts all that makeup on, all of a sudden she looks just as good. Her skin looks just as good as the girl that specifically eats clean and healthy so that her skin is nice and clean. She looks just as good by putting makeup on her face for an hour.
If not better. Devil's advocate, bro. Why don't men wear makeup? What if men did wear makeup? Would we have like an even more significant leg up in like the dating realm?
No. You know why? Women don't find men who wear makeup attractive. Because what does that say about the man? a lack of confidence.
Lil Huddy would say otherwise.
Yeah, isn't Little Huddy like that one singer or TikToker or something? And he like advocates for guys wearing makeup? I think, I could be wrong. You also got guys like Disguised Toast who recently explained his makeup routine like publicly. And I don't know Toast in real life, but from what I can tell, he doesn't come off as a very insecure guy. In fact, I think it takes a huge level of confidence as a guy to come out and say, hey, I'm a guy who wears makeup, and that's okay.
Yeah. But anyways, the thing with makeup too is it shows to an extent a lot of insecurity. It's a big waste of time. It takes up a lot of room. And look, some girls can pull it off, okay, but generally speaking, you don't want to necessarily invite women into your life that are going to have an hour a day dedicated to makeup, excessive makeup. We didn't even address the main thing. Catfishing, dude.
Oh,
girls make themselves look totally different than they actually do in real life with a bunch of fucking makeup, and it's super misleading. It's not sustainable. It's bad for your skin.
Yeah.
Bad for the fucking environment. Like, it'd be like a guy that has to be drunk whenever he talks to people. Like, before you go, oh, I'm doing it for myself. Has to have that confidence. Has to look prepared, right?
What?
Bro, have you ever like woken up next to like a hookup?
Oh, like a girl the night after?
Yeah. Been like, whoa. This is what you look like without the makeup.
Oh, dude. Fuck, man. See, guys can't do that. What would the equivalent of a guy be? Like, you wake up and it's not a 5-star hotel. It's like a hole in the wall.
Yeah, right?
I love how his examples always come back to the whole money thing. Like, he just assumes that all women just want money and that's all they need from a guy. Like, no, there's so much more that we want from a guy, but he doesn't realize it.
Like, maybe the rental company asked for the Benz back or something.
Yeah, like, dude, when you wake up, when you hook up with a girl and you wake up, like, she looks beautiful, everything's good. Next day you wake up and her eyebrows are gone. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Okay, I'm gonna be for real. I felt personally attacked by this one because I'm Asian, and bro, for most of us, the eyebrow hair is like non-existent. And if you know basic laws of attraction, at least in terms of the Western world, people get recognized more for their eyebrows than anything else. And girl, I'll admit, I am pretty insecure about my eyebrows, and I usually fix this problem by either filling them in or just getting them dyed frequently. And before a bunch of guys come in storming in saying that I'm quote-unquote catfishing, I specifically use the brand Just for Men, which is actually supposed to be a beard dye, but of course, resourceful gal, I use it for my eyebrows.
I think the male equivalent would be like when a guy lies about having money.
And he's bringing up money again.
When a woman wears a lot of makeup and then you see her the next day after hooking up with her and she looks like 2 or 3 points below, like rough without the makeup, you feel cheated. I think the equivalent of men feeling cheated by women wearing makeup is when men lie to women about how much money and status and resources they have. Like, for example, come back to my crib. This is my super nice mansion. This is my nice car. These are all my friends. The next day, the girl wakes up and realizes it's all rentals. It's not even their house. They just like snuck in. It's their buddy's house.
Right.
You know,
I think if anything, queens should be thanking us for trying to dismantle the makeup industry.
I want to say thank you, but y'all are probably fighting the makeup industry for your own beneficial gain. I agree that makeup is unhealthy for skin, and it creates unrealistic beauty standards, and it's expensive as hell. Bro, like, people start wearing makeup to cover up blemishes, and then what does it do? It creates more blemishes, so you go out and buy more product to put on your face, and the cycle repeats. I agree overall that makeup isn't beneficial to society. I will say, though, that makeupless faces should be normalized, but in the end, it should be up to the makeup user themselves. If good bro, bad bro's sole intent for debunking the makeup industry is just because they're worried about getting catfished, they're not doing this to look out for women, but they're doing this for their fellow men.
Shout out to my natural queens. Yeah, people on TikTok get pissed when you say, if a woman is hot without makeup, that's what's up. Apparently, there's something wrong with being a hot girl naturally.
I think this is mostly due to the fakeness of social media. Like, for instance, people who say that they're makeupless on social media usually at least have a little bit of makeup on. Don't get me wrong, there are endless amounts of girls that are absolutely stunning without makeup, and go them. The issue is that men's view of a natural face is what they see online, and like I said, a lot of people who say they're not wearing makeup either have special lenses or filters that cover up blemishes, or they're wearing very light makeup. Usually if someone is wearing zero makeup, they often get accused of being sleepy or sick because of the darkness that surrounds people's eyes. Men like to say that they prefer quote-unquote natural faces, but a lot of the times when they do see an actual natural face, they'll describe the woman as ugly or are not attractive. It's no wonder women continue to wear makeup even when men say they prefer quote-unquote natural faces. For instance, here are some ladies showing off how, they have a filter on, and then they reveal what real skin looks like off social media, what real skin looks like in person. We all have pores. and this is like makeupless faces, right? We all have pores, and even with makeup, you still sometimes see people's pores. The last time I remember having smooth skin was probably when I was a kid, to be honest. You know, for adults, it's normal to have pores. It's normal to have texture on your skin, and I think we need to normalize that.
Hey, red flags number 9, tattoos and piercings. Okay, guys, so I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this, but generally speaking, a lot of the girls you see that turn into feminists and angry incels in the comments, femcels, a lot of them you'll notice, you click on the profile, weird hair color, lots of piercings on the face, lots of tattoos. I don't know what it is about having all that, but basically what all those say is like, hey, pay attention to me. I need attention.
I'm not too familiar with tattoos or hair dyeing experiences, but you can't just assume someone's doing all this for attention. You don't know the reasons. Maybe they just like the aesthetic, or maybe they just want to have blue hair because they thought it would look good. Can't people just make choices for the sake of making them?
And look, guys, like, I've been on the fence about getting tats. You know, I wanted to be an actor one day, which is why I have a clean slate. But if I did not, I would have both my sleeves done, because it would get way more girls. 1,000,000%. Okay? Certain guys love girls with lots of tattoos, but girls that will put all that stuff over their body, it says a lot. It says, hey, they're willing to like do this very short-term thinking but forever lasting thing. It's very impulsive. It's not like the options weighed out. Statistically speaking, girls with lots of tattoos way more likely to hook up with loads of dudes.
Excuse me, but do I detect some hoe shaming going on?
Way more likely to cheat, way more likely to get divorced, way less likely to pair bond, way more likely to behave in other things that are kind of like on the fence as far as like conventional standards of behavior.
Right. I'm going to play good bro, bad bro here. Something about it turns me on.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
And like, yes, it's a red flag. Like, is that my life partner? I don't know.
No.
I'm leaning towards probably not. But will I let her ruin my life respectfully?
Short term. Short term, boys.
Okay, but like, why? Jinx? Seriously though, I think it's valid to make the argument that if you met someone with a lot of tattoos and they're engaging in some deviant behavior, it's completely okay to say that they're not your type of person. But I honestly seriously doubt that any person of that aesthetic is looking for a partner that looks like any of the guys on Good Bro, Bad Bro. I'm sure they're out there, but chances are if they have tattoos and piercings, maybe dyed hair, they're probably going to date someone with a similar aesthetic. Simply because they have similar lifestyles. Think about a queer person. They're probably dressing queer to attract other queer people. Or similarly, a religious person is probably going to dress in a way so they attract other religious people. So keep in mind, if you don't like the way someone dresses, that's fine, but don't expect them to conform to your standards of what you think attractive is.
Look, if you're looking for great sex, go out with a girl with tattoos, dude. Green flag.
Yeah.
Girls with tattoos, freaks in the sheets, dude.
Yo, you ever see like an innocent looking girl that like looks super wholesome, then out of nowhere, like giant back piece or something like that?
Yeah, that's weird.
Crazy, eh? Like, looks like a librarian and then just tatted up.
So you know what a lot of those girls are? In their past life, they went through a hoe phase. That's the term. They're a good girl now, but you take the clothes off, they got all these tattoos from their previous days. Like tramp stamps?
Yeah.
Bro. I mean, even the feminists would agree that a tramp stamp's a red flag. The good analogy is from Rich Cooper, Entrepreneurs in Cars. He summarized it beautifully. When you get a super sick car, like a Lamborghini or something like that, why are you going to ruin it by putting a bunch of stickers on it?
Red flag and Good Bro, Bad Bro, he's comparing women to cars. Oh my god.
It's beautiful on its own. You don't need to put all that bullshit on it. It speaks for itself. You could argue that a body is the same thing.
You know what, bro? Like, that's like the stupidest analogy ever, in my opinion.
Yeah?
I think if a woman is beautiful and then complemented with like beautiful tattoos, and I don't mean like shitty like tribal tattoos, like actual like proper art.
Tastefully piece.
Tasteful, like
Yeah.
that like suit the flow of her body and like even accentuate it further. There's nothing hotter, bro. And like, bro, a lot of girls who are like tattoo artists, they're tatted up. Does that mean they went through some crazy dangerous phase? Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe not. But like, bro, I find it pretty hot.
I think I got a good analogy, actually. Women always chase the guy that is just one step ahead of them. Ignores her a little bit. He's the bad boy, has lots of kills, womanizer. He's been with lots of girls. But she's the one to convert him.
The number one mistake any girl can make is fall into this trapped idea that, oh, he's manipulative, a heartbreaker, a criminal. You're a girl, you can change him. And let me tell you how many jerks and assholes have had to fall for to realize that life isn't a movie. You're not always going to quote unquote change the guy. This is exactly why people get into abusive or even toxic relationships. There's this idea that it's our job to fix our partner. But that's a bad mentality because sure, you can be there and support them on their personal growth journey, but the only person who can truly make a healthy, long-lasting change in themselves is them. That and therapy.
She's the one to take the guy that's capable of having a big roster and rotation of lots of guys, is at that attractive fuckboy level, but she's the one that turns him into a good guy for her. He settled for her. She converted him. That's like the female fantasy, to get that bad boy, turn him into her own personal version, right? Males don't look at women like that. We don't look at a girl with a bunch of tattoos and go, oh, I want to make this one wifey. Men are valued when they create value. Women are valued when they preserve value.
He is absolutely right when he says this. Think about how views around the sex industry work. Men put value into women who don't sleep around because to them, those women are considered pure and not used. If a girl is modest and doesn't express herself sexually, she's seen as this valuable prize. Women, specifically religious women, are told that their virginity is something they lose or give to a man, and if they give it away, then they're no longer special. Whereas for men, they get glorified because they slept around and they're able to get women to want them. This is a huge double standard because if men are getting glorified for having sex on the daily, then who the heck is he doing it with? There has to be available and sexually explorative women in order for these men to get those quote-unquote kills.
And when a girl has all those tattoos and stuff like that and experiences, it doesn't weigh the same as when a guy does, because women and men look for different things. Men are valued more when they have the experience, the kill count, the status, the money, the options. Women are not. Those are all red flags. Unfortunately, tattoos get thrown into that. Piercings, we skipped over that, but
that's where I draw the line.
Piercings is pretty straightforward, guys. There's no reason to get your chin, forehead, fucking dimples pierced, or your clit, or dude, come on, like, it's like when you're with a fat chick and you're like, oh, I love like Jennifer Aniston, and then the girl will be like, oh, like why? Because she's thin. So what happens is when they get out of the relationship, to spite their ex, they're like, yeah, I'm going to get my nips pierced now. Show him what's up.
So true, bro.
This reminds me of when I dated my high school ex. And by the way, this relationship was super toxic. I remember expressing my insecurity when it came to the size of my behind. And what he said was, yeah, it's pretty small. And you know what? Once we broke up, I hit workouts every day to grow my bootay just because I was a petty bitch. I mean, it kind of worked. His best friend said to my other best friend that my behind looked bigger. So I felt pretty accomplished that day.
Wait. If there's one tattoo that's the pinnacle of all red flag tattoos, it's another man's name tattooed.
Oh, dude. Million percent.
That is a tough one.
Dude, if you want to know if a girl's committed to you, be like, okay, you'll never leave me? You want to get married? You're not going to take my money? Get my name tattooed on you. See if she... Oh, you know what? I'm not going to do that.
Oh, so you don't want to be in a toxic relationship.
That's the ultimate test.
Oh my god, okay, this is probably the closest thing you can get to a permanent tattoo of someone's name on your skin. But anyways, in high school, with the same ex, he told me that if I really loved him, I'd make my yearbook quote something about him, and, he'd do the same. And I was very much a doormat, and this was my very first serious relationship, so after a long bit of telling myself this was a horrible idea, I eventually gave in. Guess what? We broke up the summer after graduation.
Number 10, red flags in girls. Bad at replying. There's a difference between being bad at replying because you're busy, because you're at work, you're doing your nursing shift, or you're teaching kids, versus you're totally available by your phone and you just intentionally choose not to reply to the guy.
Dude, there is nothing worse than someone being on their phone and completely not responding at all. What's even worse is when you bring up how they do this and they just say, no, I didn't. Or, I did respond. Like, bish, where?
Now, once again, it's very contradictory because when a man doesn't reply to girls right away, that's a green flag.
I'm just going to say one thing. It's a green flag only if you know that he has a busy life and he has things to do. But if he is completely available, like, same thing he said for girls. If he's completely available and he's not responding to you, I still see that as a red flag. I'm pretty sure some other girls probably do too. Dude, but I don't know. If girls actually genuinely find that as a green flag, then y'all need to raise your standards for men.
Yeah, big one.
It implies he's doing shit. He's got purpose. When men communicate, we get straight to the point. We prefer talking in person over the phone. We're much more like to the point. Whereas women, they're much more detailed. They send paragraphs. Like, I'm sure there's statistics on this. Women send way more paragraphs. And all you dudes in the comments like, oh, I send paragraphs all the time. Well, yeah, it's a very feminine behavior.
Stop simping, bro.
And here we go with the whole labeling things as feminine or masculine. Like, I don't think a guy sending paragraphs, at least from my perspective, I don't see that as anything feminine. It depends. Like, sometimes, dude, I swear half the time I talk to girls in relationships, all they want is for their partner to actually send them a cute paragraph or send them something other than one-word responses. Dude, like, girls actually really hate when guys do that.
You ever get into like a heated text battle with someone and you're like, hey, we should just call?
Dude.
Then instead just keeps going text.
Always goes bad.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just picked up that phone or sent a voice memo at the very least, so much more context.
I would argue most women that get into arguments, they don't escalate to a phone call. They just stay over text.
Yeah.
Paragraph, bubbles, bubbles. Dude, this happened recently with my own family members, allegedly. Like, you know, some women in my family. They refuse to talk to each other on the phone.
You know what? I will say it's definitely better if you're having an argument to just call somebody and talk to them, you know, voice to voice. But I do know for some people, you know, men and women and in between, they all feel that texting during an argument is a lot easier because you can read through what you're saying and not say anything that could potentially hurt someone's feelings. And sometimes, at least for me, I'm really bad at like thinking on my feet. So I feel like I need time to process what I'm reading or hearing. And then I'm like, okay, I'll formulate a response based on that. So I don't, you know, when I'm really angry, I tend to just like, I can't word things the way that I want them to be unless I write them down.
You said previously, big red flags, girls who are always on their phone, girls who don't have hobbies. And now you're saying a big red flag is a girl who doesn't text you back.
Mm-hmm.
But
bad at replying.
Bad at replying.
Yeah.
If she had hobbies, which would be a green flag in your opinion,
mm-hmm.
and wasn't always on her phone because she's out doing interesting shit, living in the moment, wouldn't she naturally be bad at replying?
Yes, and that is the exception to the rule. Because it's just like when a guy's bad at replying to a girl, but he doesn't do anything. Like he has nothing going on. All he does is play video games. Like if you're by your phone all day, and you know what, here's an even, to elaborate on your point, when a girl is, when she's with you, she's always on her phone, but when you text her, she's bad at replying. Oh, think about it. When she's with you, she's always on her phone, but when she's not with you, all of a sudden she's not replying to you. You already know she's on her phone, bro. Because if she's on her phone when she's with you, guaranteed when she's not, like imagine how much she's on her phone when she's alone.
I think what he's getting to here is that if she is with you and she is on her phone constantly, but then when she's not with you, she's somehow not responding, then yeah, I would definitely say that's a red flag. Because chances are, if she's with you and she's on her phone, and let's say she's on Snapchat, you know for sure, she's definitely texting other people. And I would say that is a red flag for both guys and girls. But, you know, they're talking about girls. So for in this situation, yeah, I would agree. That's a red flag for women.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a girl doesn't just hang out with somebody and then go on her phone, okay? And then when she's alone, she's not on her phone. That makes no sense. That's ass backwards. Bad doesn't necessarily mean it takes her a while to. Bad means like low effort replies.
Oh, yeah, like if it's short, or if you ask a couple questions, she comes back with like answering one, if not zero.
LOL. You know, you replied within 2 hours, took her like a day and a half. But like once again, it's not because she was working. It's not because she was out busy. You know she's on her phone all the time. Mm-hmm. It's because she just didn't care or see enough value in you.
Right.
Yeah, and this red flag is actually doing you a favor because it's showing that a girl isn't interested in you.
Dude, I think my brain is fucking fried from all these red flags. We covered a lot in this video. If there's one thing I will say, though, one thing, the biggest red flag of all.
From this list?
Is people who are not subscribed to Good Bro, Bad Bro. So pound the fucking like button.
Okay, so this whole video I made was a complete blind reaction. Before watching this, I saw so many TikToks on certain clips from this podcast, and I honestly thought that coming out of this, I would absolutely hate Good Bro, Bad Bro. However, most of the red flags were very well thought out. Most of them I would even agree with. The issue is, from my perspective, is that their reasonings for the red flags often sounded like they stemmed from a misogynistic viewpoint. Even if not directly demonstrated, there are some hidden beliefs within the red flags that hint at how they truly feel about women. Now, they recently came out with a video with the one guy saying that they were actually just getting polarizing clips so TikTok viewers would come to see their podcast. In fact, his video was titled, "I Trolled Internet Feminists Gone Wrong." Whether or not this podcast was intended to spiral clout or call out the radical feminists, my opinion is that there are a lot of young, impressionable people, specifically little boys, and they're probably watching this content and actually taking the advice of Good Bro, Bad Bro. I even left a comment about this on their channel, and surprisingly, they took the critique well. So thanks, my dudes. Overall opinion is that they need to be more more careful with what they post on the internet, because there are a lot of people who could actually take their advice seriously, and in the end, that's what feeds into misogynistic tendencies. I don't think they're bad people, they just didn't make the best decisions. I hope to see Good Bro, Bad Bro hopefully making some meaningful and well-made podcasts in the future. Specifically, I hope to see them getting more perspectives from actual women. So that's it, guys. Thanks for blind reacting with me or watching some random little YouTuber's opinion. I typically make gaming videos, but if you guys want to see more content like this, drop a like and leave a comment below. Also, subscribe and turn on the bell notifications for future content. This has been Kawaayeet, and I'm a yeet out. Bye!